Hey, welcome to the Vintage Vibe. There's something magical about tubes and tube amplifiers. Well, at least for me there is. And these are no exception. What I've got here is a pair of 6L6 monoblock tube amplifiers capable of about 15 watts per piece. Now, you've probably never heard the name before, Sparton. I mean, that is unless you've collected 1940s and 1950s tabletop radios. Sparton happened to be a, well, quite big manufacturer back in that era in the USA, as well as manufacturing right here in Canada. And still to this day, one of the most valuable tabletop radios happens to be a Sparton. That's the Sparton Bluebird. These happen to come out of a pair of consoles. That's right, two separate consoles, because remember, mono was the rage back then. And they were called the Eldorado. Yes, the name says luxury, and they were not inexpensive consoles. In fact, you'd probably have to save up quite a bit of your wage or be quite wealthy to be able to afford an Eldorado console. These never really looked like this brand new. In fact, the builder donated the parts or put them in kind of these donor chassis. And you know what? They look like they were always meant to be in there. He's done a great job assembling them, recapping them, redoing the resistors. The end result, just fantastic. Now, on the front here, you can see you've got a bright red power indicator. It's kind of a jewel that looks like maybe it was in an old airplane in the 1940s. You've got a big silver toggle for on and off. You've got your speaker terminal, and you've got here a black sliding toggle which turns on and off a feature that's called inverse feedback. Now back then you couldn't turn it on or off. That was cutting edge technology put into the Sparton console. Personally, I kind of like it off. To me, it gives a little more openness in the sound, a little bit bigger of a sound stage in general, a little deeper sounding. And let's talk about how these sound. They have good bass. What I mean by good bass is it's deep, it's full, but it's realistic. It's pretty tight. It's not like the typical 1950s tube amplifier that was kind of woolly, a little bit kind of boxy sounding. These are just really nice sounding amps. In fact, they've got just enough of that euphonic mid-range. They're not overdone, they're not syrupy. The high frequency, it's got good extension and it's crisp sounding. In fact, if you were to close your eyes, you'd probably think you were listening to, well, a Class A MOSFET amplifier. So, the moral of the story is next time you happen to see a console sitting on the side of the road, you know, the big wooden ugly radios of the 1950s and 60s, you might want to stop and take a peek inside, because you might just happen to find something like this. I hope you enjoyed this quick short on the Vintage Vibe, and we'll see you next time.